reminds me, I've been thinking about going on a diet. Carrots, they're good for your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Fish, good for your brain. Omega fatty acids. You know why fish are good for your brain?
What?
Because they travel in schools.
Ah.
This joke brought to you by Milton Berle. Oh, hello there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us once again for this, the
Sure.
143rd. This is my shirt that I wasn't supposed to wear in the podcast because it's branded. You know, it's like you ever see TV shows like
And they'll blur it out.
They blur out the T-shirt because it has a logo on it.
I'm not blurring mine out. It says freedom, and that's a good thing.
Oh, we can't blur. No, I don't have to blur mine out.
Hi, I'm Hatter. This is Holden, and welcome to another episode, the 143rd episode of Drunk Doctor Who.
But wherein we discuss the
143rd serial.
Revelation of the Daleks.
Okay.
Exterminate. Exterminate.
So this season we have had Cybermen,
Daleks, the Master.
Yes, the Master. The big three and
the classics.
several others. Yeah. Okay, so this is the final serial.
That's like the biggest three, right? Or would the Sontarans go in there? The big four?
We had the Sontarans. Yeah, the two doctors, remember?
Yeah.
We had the Sontarans.
So the big four.
There are others later on, but I would argue those are the big four. But I would go
like five.
I would go Dalek.
Oh, Weeping Angels. That's
later down. Dalek, Cyberman, Master. What are they called? Sontarans. In that order, because that's the order they came out with in the show. Boom, boom, boom. And then some. No. Yes.
Daleks,
The first Sontaran episode.
Master,
The first Sontaran episode was in the Third Doctor, a little bit after, because the Master showed up in the Third Doctor as well. But they came out First Doctor Daleks, his very second serial.
Mm-hmm.
First Doctor Cyberman, his very last serial.
Mm-hmm.
Third Doctor Master, right early on, and Third Doctor Sontarans, the first serial of his fifth and final season.
So those are the big four of classic Doctor Who villains.
Mm-hmm. There are others like the Zygons that become more of a thing later. And don't forget the Silurians.
I was going to say...
The Silurians were back during the second Doctor, yeah.
Those are the big reptile things, right?
Yeah. But they don't show up that much in the classic stuff. They show up a bit more in the modern stuff. Like the Zygons showed up a little bit in the classic, but they show up a lot more in the modern stuff.
So the Silurians show up more in the modern stuff?
Yes. In fact, one of them is a companion.
Because they're really trying to make those a thing during like Hartnell Troughton. They're recurring, and then they kind of died off.
Troughton, more Pertwee.
Pertwee and Troughton.
Yeah, because remember
the
Sea Devils and stuff?
Yeah.
And then we saw them again during the fifth Doctor, the Sea Devils, which are cousins of the Silurians.
Oh, those are the Silurians.
All right.
What are
the Silurians are
things you blew up with the landmines?
Okay, those are Sea Devils. The Silurians are the more intelligent version that live underground. The Sea Devils are the ones that live in the water.
Subterranean.
Aquatic. Right, and they are basically cousins of the Silurians.
Okay.
But the Silurians show up more in the new stuff. Same for the Zygons.
Not the Sea Devils. They don't show up.
They do eventually, yes.
Cool.
Eventually, but not like the Silurians who show up a lot. They've shown up like once or twice.
So that's the big five of the big four of the old stuff.
We'll call it the big four, and the others show up more in the modern stuff, but they originally were in the old stuff.
So what's the big four of the modern stuff?
Weeping Angels, the Silence.
The
Silence.
Is that like the Nothing?
Well, if you want to go with the Nothing, we eventually do get that. But Nothing, never-ending story.
Black hole. Here's the question: is the Wolf the Nothing, or he's just the agent of the? He was something else. The Wolf.
He was something else.
And then the Nothingness was the black hole. That was
right. That was engulfing the world. Anyway, but no, the Weeping Angels, I would say. The Silence.
We're talking about the never-ending story.
We were. Now we're to the baddie, the new and wonderful baddies and the new stuff.
Speaking of children's content with heavy themes.
Adult show. How many deaths were there?
So,
probably family show.
Were they on Earth? Were those humans? They're on Necros.
Necros, yes.
So those were Necrosians.
Well, they're people from all over the galaxy.
Okay, so 14 people, 6 or 7 Daleks.
Yeah, and one guy who was a Dalek-ish.
I counted him as a person, yeah. I guess he could count as both. Dalek.
Yeah, he was in transition to become a Dalek. It was creepy.
They coup de grace him.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, today.
Is that a verb?
Coup de grace.
Yeah.
It's very much a noun, and you can
Can
say
I coup de grace him. Past
I think that would work as a verb, actually. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think it would. All right. So today is the 13th of February, 2024. Happy Mardi Gras!
Yay.
It's Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday.
Take my top off. Because everyone have to blur it.
I'll give you beads to keep them all. Keep it.
Oh, too late.
All right. Happy Mardi
give you
Gras. Okay. Anyway, so today's Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. It's literally what Mardi Gras means. Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday.
Your money's pop.
Yeah. Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday, and tomorrow's also St. Valentine's Day.
That's tomorrow.
The same day, both on Wednesday. Happens once every 30 years or so, based on the lunar moon that happens after there's a
Happy Valentine's Day.
day. Yeah.
That's a reminder for me tomorrow.
Okay.
I forget.
All right. So anyway, Easter is like the first. Okay, so the weekend of Easter Sunday, is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the equinox. So you have the spring equinox in late March, March 20th or so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it's what's called a papal full moon.
Full.
Yes, papal, like the papacy, the Pope. The papal full moon, which is almost the exact same as the regular full moon. I don't know what the difference is, but supposedly it may be a day off or something weird. So you take the full moon after the spring equinox, and the Sunday after that is Easter, because it's based off of Passover, and Passover is celebrated on that day. So to figure out when Passover is, you go the equinox, and the Friday after is the Passover. Or the Saturday after is the Passover. So that Sunday is Easter Sunday.
So much about astrology.
No,
Astronomy.
Strong. So that Sunday is Easter Sunday because it happened on Passover weekend. 2 days before Easter Sunday was the day Christ was crucified. That's Good Friday. Easter Sunday is when he rose from the grave.
I'm gonna need you to write it out for me.
Okay.
I'm not following.
40 days before Good Friday, or Easter Sunday. Yeah, 40 days before Good Friday is Ash Wednesday, which is Lent.
Yeah.
Those 40 days when you're supposed to give up something. The day before Lent is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, which is when you're celebrating and enjoying before you give up something for Lent.
Yeah.
So from that day until, at least in New Orleans, Louisiana, January 6th is the official start of Mardi Gras. And it can last a month and a half, up to 2 months and a half, based on whenever the heck Fat Tuesday is, based on the lunar calendar.
How many Catholic husbands do you think is going to use the excuse, oh, I didn't forget Valentine's Day, I merely gave up getting a gift for you as my sacrifice?
I don't think that would work well. But it'd be interesting to go out tomorrow night and see how many young couples celebrating St. Valentine's Day have the ash on their forehead. Yeah. Anyway.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's Catholic, right? Catholicism?
Yes, Catholicism. You wear the ash on Ash Wednesday to denote your allegiance for Christ and what he went through. All right. Protestants don't generally do that, although there might be a few that do. I don't know.
I feel like the less conservative your denomination is, the the less holidays you celebrate in terms of religiously.
Maybe. What are you drinking today?
Oh, White Claw. I decided to...
The lime again.
Yeah, blur it. That's the brand.
Alright. And I am drinking Russian Standard Vodka.
Sponsored by?
No, we're not sponsored by anybody. Although, if I could get Ravi's or what is it, Brewski Stop or someplace, Specs or Doc's or someplace to sponsor us, that'd be fantastic.
Talk them into it.
Have a little crawler or a little commercial during the show or so.
I'm going to send them an email from our official Drunk Doctor Who podcast at marketingoutreach.com email address.
We don't have one of those.
Oh.
Remember we said way back in the day, it was like, we don't expect to get rich off this. In fact, if we could ever get the alcohol covered, we'd be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. The Doctor and Perry.
I used to want to like do a lot of edits and put a whole lot of,
cuts into it.
Yeah, extra stuff, and you're like, not just simple, pure upload. And now I feel like very much the opposite, where I'm just super lazy, and you're like, hey, we could add an extra, interim edit here.
No, I don't want an edit. Yeah. I just want an intermission because
I'm like, I'll get right on that, and I haven't done it at all.
Okay, for the two Doctors, we almost ran out of the battery on the camera. And we've done that once or twice, where we had 12 episodes to talk about, and we ran out of battery on the camera, and we're going to do that during the flux.
Yes.
So
run out on battery
on the camera. Yeah, it's 6-hour-long episodes. Yeah,
we're going to run out tonight.
So the whole point is to have like a little intermission to put. Here's this. Here's our intro. Here's this part. Here's an intermission. Here's part 2, and there's our outro,
What would that look like? Like a sci-fi looking thing, or like a technical difficulty?
In the old days, the intermission in the movie theater would say intermission.
Intermission.
And it would play music from the movie, and it would have a countdown. So it'd be like 10 minutes, and you knew you had 10 minutes to go get a snack or use the restroom or whatever, or smoke, and come back.
Is our intermission going to be 10 minutes?
No. We should probably do like a 3-minute intermission.
3 minutes.
Yeah, because people go, okay, pause, I gotta go do this. But they can do that anyway. But just in case somebody catches us on the premiere, when it's basically streaming, that'd be kind of neat.
We should stream them, and what's really popular is those intermission streams, when you stream. Starting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but
we could live stream.
Okay. On our very first episode, we had it plugged in because we didn't know how long it was going to be. But we got that stupid buzzing.
Yeah.
If we live stream it, I don't know if that stupid ass buzzing is going to come back or not because it's plugged in through the computer.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
People live stream all the time.
Then we don't get to put the intro and outro.
Yeah, we can still play them during the live stream. And then you take the video on demand and then you upload it as the YouTube video. So people watch it live and the uploaded, VOD.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works. Anyway, I know how this works. Alright, so, okay. So, you'll notice the Sixth Doctor. It's the final serial of his first season, but he only had 2. And the second season is half the length. Because the episodes go down from an hour or 45 minutes to 22 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through this Doctor and we're almost done with this Doctor.
Did we talk about the 18-month intermission?
Oh yeah, okay. So after this,
that's a long intermission screen.
Hold on. Yeah.
18-month countdown.
Well, let's get to the episode and we'll end that and then we'll go through that.
Telethon.
Okay. No,
telesong.
No.
Song.
No.
Just song.
Okay. So on the back, you can see Alexei Sale from The Young Ones. Those of you who know him. He was also in Whoops Apocalypse, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and several other weird parts in other weird movies.
And he's by far the worst part of this whole series.
That's what Beard thinks too, yeah. He's a DJ. Okay. So this whole thing is set in a place of internal repose. Basically, it's where they cryogenically freeze people. Think Walt Disney's head and that kind of stuff. Yeah, they cryogenically freeze people until they can come up with a cure for what ails them. And so, for an extra fee, while your consciousness is going, because supposedly you're still conscious, even though you're frozen, I guess, you can have a DJ putting tunes in to your coffin, your sepulcher, and blathering on about stuff. Also keeping you up to date about culture, technology, civilization, and all that kind of stuff.
But here's the catch: is it was actually torture. He was torturing them with just the worst radio broadcast ever.
I like Alexi Sale. Not everyone does. And yeah, he's acting like a DJ from the 50s and 60s and a little bit into the 70s. But he has different kind of DJ voice personas because he does a really good job of it.
The reason why it's so bad is they're juxtapositioning this children's show comedic relief the family show comedic relief, the children's side of it, with the more adult theme nature of the
Everyone
episode.
dies.
Yeah, and they don't merge those two seamlessly, like in the Never Ending Story. It's just very back and forth. It's like the darkest thing you've ever seen. Yeah. And then this like weird, wacky, goofy...
Yeah, so you find out this guy is being turned into a Dalek after they robbed his grave and put his mind in an embryonic state like a Dalek, and his daughter has to kill him. And then of course you get the DJ talking about stuff, and it's a bit jarring, to say the least.
Cold, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, the doctor finds out that this scientist that he knew and loved and whatever, I don't know if you got the scientist's name.
Professor A. Stingus?
It sounds right. All right.
Austin?
Yeah.
Anthony?
So they're going to this planet Necros, which means, of course, death. Oh, yeah.
Can't read my chicken scratch.
And they're going there to attend the funeral of this guy. Anyway, so the Doctor and Perry spend the vast majority of the first episode
bickering.
Well, not only bickering, they always do that, but trying to get into tranquil repose.
Because there's a big wall in the way.
Yeah, there's a wall. Okay, so they land, and they're in this blue outfit, right?
Because blue's the
official color of mourning on Necros.
Yeah.
She's in this blue outfit, and her legs have to be covered, which makes sense because it's snowing. There's a bunch of snow on the ground. You don't want your legs bare.
Well, they kind of landed up in the hills.
Yeah, they did.
Why did he land so far away from the funeral?
He was being cautious because he was being paranoid because he suspected that guy would not want his body interred there. So he thought there might be an ulterior motive, which there was. Yeah.
I totally missed that.
All right. So anyway, so they're trying to get in. They circumvent the place, and there's just a wall around the whole thing. There's no door. So they finally go over the wall.
They should have walked around it 7 more times.
No.
Blasted their truck.
Speaking of Jericho. All right. Okay. In the meantime, we are shown. We only get a few clips of the Doctor and Perry. The first episode was almost all about what's going on inside.
Yes.
So you have these people who have prepared the body of the wife of the president. We don't know president of what, but it's kind of inferred president of the galaxy or whatever. The president to. And they've embalmed her and all that stuff. But he specifically says she's more alive now than she was when she was living. I guess she looks better.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's wearing a mask.
Yeah, they've got a death mask
which
on
is
her
why
and
she
stuff
looks
like
better.
That. Yeah. Alright.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway,
what was it that they were eating on their way out of the TARDIS? The nut snack?
Oh, she had, a pecan cinnamon roll or something the Doctor had made, and she threw it into the water, and
nut roast roll. They do you think they stuck with the vegetarian diet they were talking about at the end of?
No idea.
Do you ever have canonicity on the Doctor's diet?
The Doctor does eat other things later on, but for the life of me, I paid no attention to whether or not it was vegetarian.
You know, the Flash, not Gordon, but the DC one.
Okay, the kid?
Yeah. The kid?
Yeah, he's young.
Oh, yeah. Barry Allen. He doesn't drink caffeine, canonically, which is funny, because he's the fastest.
Because he drank caffeine.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But these new comic book writers, they don't know the Flash, and there's this official comic strip of the Flash going and ordering a coffee, not, decaf. But he doesn't normally drink caffeine. Okay. So the critics panned it.
Well, a lot of the comic book writers and movie makers these days don't know the source material, and they're told not to research the source material. And it's just weird. Yeah,
that is weird.
When Whittaker became the Doctor, Whittaker the 13th Doctor, she was told not to watch any of the other Doctor Who episodes because she knew nothing about it. They told her to bring her own take on it completely, and it didn't work.
I can see it.
It did not work.
They wanted to try something new.
Yeah, that didn't work for this Doctor, and it didn't work for her.
It usually doesn't.
Yeah.
There's that Lady Gaga movie that they came out with where she was playing Gucci.
Yeah.
And the actual person, contacted her and was like, "Do you want to talk to me, get to know me, because you're doing a documentary about my life?"
Well, a movie.
And she's like, "No, this is my character."
Dun dun dun.
Like, how that's so vain in a documentary.
It is.
She's like, "I'm gonna take my own spin, my own take on it."
Right. So inside Tranquil Repose, which is this complex of pyramids surrounded by gardens of memory, surrounded by the wall. There's the head guy.
We meet Jobel, Mr. Jobel, and his assistants Takis and Tessa Bika.
Tessa Bika is the young lady who is absolutely smitten with Jobel.
Yeah. And then Takis is more like the second in command with Jobel.
Right, Takis and that guy who was with Takis. I don't think we ever get his name. Yeah, I think we do once. I think Takis asks him pointedly and states his name.
Alexi Sales.
Alexi Sales, that's the DJ.
Stengas. Vogel. Orsini. Natasha.
I think Stingas.
Bostic.
Not Orsini or Bostic. I think
it's Stingas.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Lilt.
No.
Gone. That was the one. That was the blonde guy.
That was the drunk? The Doctor?
No, that's Bostic.
No.
There's a lot of characters in this serial.
There is. Not a whole ton happens in this serial, but there's a ton of characters. Okay. So anyway, just discarding all the DJ stuff. Alexi Sale.
Oh, you can't. He's integral to the plot.
He comes into play later, in the second episode.
What's his rock and roll laser beam?
Yes, he has a rock and roll laser beam, which is not too dissimilar from the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the seventh dimension.
I liked Doctor Who, and I was enjoying it, and is getting worse. And
yes.
And I kept making excuses for it because I was like a fan of the series. I'm like, I've enjoyed this so much, and it's just going downhill. So now I'm like, I think this was it. I don't like Doctor Who anymore.
What? No. Okay.
This episode was so bad.
The serial. Yeah. Wait till you see next season.
All right. They took the Daleks and Davros and these villains that you love, and they just put them in the worst serial they could possibly make.
What do you see next season? Alright, anyway, so, you've got Jobel and you have his second and third in command.
Next season is Colin Baker, but our last season.
The second and final season of Colin Baker.
Okay.
He has the twin dilemma
Mm-hmm.
in the last serial of Davison's third season.
Okay.
Which is one of those weird mid-season changes, almost at the end, but not quite. And he has this season, which we just finished, and then he has Trial of a Time Lord, and that's it. And he does come back in the show later on.
Then we get the frog in a suit.
The Seventh Doctor.
What was his name?
Sylvester McCoy.
Sylvester Stallone.
McCoy. You may have seen him in the Hobbit movies. He was Radagast the Brown.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Same face.
inside the complex, you've got Joe Bell directing everybody, and he's like, okay, you gotta wear your nice frocks, you gotta wear your black gloves, you have to have the proper morning makeup, and it's all blue, yada, 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 yada. In the meantime, you've got those two guys who are second and third in command, Takas and Stingle. Stingus. And they're doing all the flower arrangements, because apparently it's Takas' thing is flowers, which is funny because, Perry's a botanist in training.
Yeah, so she's picking up these otherworldly flowers from Necros and stuff. And she says she plans to bring it in as her college project, to get entry into a college. And how, that would work, because how crazy would it be someone applying to college and they hand you a book of their,
alien species. She never makes it to college. She never does.
Doesn't?
No.
Oh, no. Does she die?
No.
Oh.
I told you last week, she gets married off.
But she doesn't go to college after she gets married?
No, she gets married off on an alien world. To an alien, yeah.
She goes to Alien Botany College.
Probably not.
Okay.
It's a warrior world. Anyway, by the way, it's Fat Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Once again, like last week, we're off by a day, but be that as it may, and I doubt it was.
I feel like this year we've had more Tuesday podcasts than Monday.
We've had more off days than proper days, yeah. So, but next Monday we're good, right?
Yes.
Okay, next Monday we're good. All right. Anyway, so inside you've got Joe Bell. He's kind of basically in charge of the place, but he's kind of a player, and he likes the women. And the one lady is in love with him, Tabernacle or whatever. Tassabika. She is comely. No, not comely.
Tassabiki.
Wait, comely means pretty, right? She's not pretty.
She's weak on the eyes.
Yeah, she's not pretty. But she likes him, but he's got his pick of everyone, so he doesn't like her. And he's very cruel about it a lot of times. In the meantime, we see...
So much so he doesn't even refer to her by her name, but once. He calls her the witch.
Well, he does at one point, yeah. But it's after she murders him.
Oh. No, he refers to her the whole serial as a witch. Like in the first one.
Does he? I think he refers to the president's deceased wife as the witch at one point.
Oh, maybe he just calls a lot of people witch.
So anyway, they're going to the president of the galaxy or whatever is en route. They're going to have the funeral for his deceased wife, and in the meantime, we see body snatchers sneaking into the place.
Why do they call them body snatchers? They're snatching the...
In the old days, they would actually snatch the bodies, yeah.
In the old days?
Yeah, they would dig up or steal the bodies. A lot of times to sell them to medical schools.
Oh, so they're grave robbers.
Sometimes, but you can snatch a body before it's in the grave.
Why did they call them body snatchers?
Right.
Because they're grave robbing?
Sometimes. Are you familiar with the term sitting up with the dead?
No.
Okay. There's a Ray Stevens song I need you to hear.
Okay.
But, all right. Back in the day, this was big in Louisiana, and in other places, mostly in the South, where you did not have mortuaries. Okay? Smaller towns.
They used them as like parks?
Well, no, you didn't have a mortuary. So you had no place to keep the body.
Oh.
Okay? So you kept it, you would have the repose in your living room or at the church. Okay? So...
You just kind of prop them up on the couch? Or?
Well, no. They would be on an altar or on a table or something, right?
Oh.
Some sort of makeshift bed. Anyway, so back in the day, in Louisiana, the University of New Orleans didn't ask questions as to where you got a body because they needed cadavers for the medical school.
Oh, yeah.
So anyone can bring a body and sell it to the medical school for several $100s.
So people started...
No questions asked. So, no, people would steal the bodies to sell them to the University of New Orleans.
Right.
And this happened in several places. Okay? So, if you didn't have a mortuary to keep the body in, you had to sit up with the dead overnight before the funeral. After the viewing to make sure nobody snatched the body.
So why is it that they call them body snatchers?
Because they think they're in there to snatch a body. They're not really. They're in there to see the body.
Of the dead president.
No.
His wife's.
No, they're in there to see the body of the young lady's father.
Ah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a young lady and a young man. The man's actually a medical doctor, also a bit of a drunk, which, we can appreciate. And they're sneaking in to see the body of the young lady's father. And apparently they have a couple of compatriots we never ever see again during the whole serial. I think they show up briefly at the beginning of the first episode. We never see them again.
I think one of them died.
Probably.
Maybe they both died.
Not quite everybody dies in this serial, but a whole lot of people die. So they're getting to her father's internment, and she tried legally to get her father's body back, but they wouldn't let her have it. So they finally get there, and he's coding in all this stuff to get in, and it opens up, and there's no body in there. It's a mannequin. It's a mannequin, kind of shrouded in the thing. It's like, what?
Oh, and they're calling them body snatchers.
Right.
They're just trying to find her dead.
Correct.
Okay.
So anyway, we find out that there's a guy called the Great Healer.
Yeah.
And the Great Healer turns out to be...
a great head.
Davros's head.
Yeah.
So Davros's head is in this thing, and he's turning, and he's moving, and he's talking, and it's the head of Davros.
And you might be thinking, what happened to his body? And the answer is nothing. He still has his body, and it's not really his head.
We find that out later.
It's an animatronic head.
It turns out that head that you think is Davros the entire time is a decoy from an assassin's bullet.
Yeah, but even though he immediately wheels out to confront the assassin, he's just fooled with the decoy head.
Yeah, but the decoy head is amazing. You believe it's Davros until it dies and Davros comes out.
Oh yeah, because he has a plastic mask. It looks.
Right. Okay, so anyway, okay, so these quote-unquote grave robbers get captured. Bunch of deaths. They shoot a guard or three. A couple of Daleks get killed.
And we see some white and gold Daleks.
There's the white Daleks, which are the Daleks for Davros. It's the two factions, the ones that follow Davros and the ones that follow the Emperor.
So he just made them white so we could tell them apart from the...
from the gray ones, yeah. Okay, so Davros apparently has a deal going with this lady, Kara, a thin lady with a bit of a turban, or a little bit of a head thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bizarre makeup. But it's an alien culture.
Yeah.
He wants money from her because he designed this protein that is feeding these starving peoples of the galaxy.
Which is really
Soylent Green.
Yeah. Like in a
protein made from people. Yeah.
You ever watch Snowpiercer?
God, that was a horrible movie.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No.
It came out with the series.
No, I mean, I like the end result of you go against those that keep everything moving.
Yeah.
And you will destroy everything, which is basically, we want to be socialists. We want to all be equal. These people saved your lives, and they're the ones keeping everything going, but you're going to fight them and destroy everything, and everyone dies. That's exactly that's the story of socialism, and it's bad. But what I hate is the movie was so stupid in the way it did it, you know?
But they didn't destroy everything. It was warm enough to live in the outside.
No.
There's the polar bear.
There's a polar bear does not live in a warm climate. Okay.
Yeah, but like with Inuits and Eskimos.
No, there's the one lady and the
out.
one kid at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, and, okay.
If
we don't like the fact
enough,
that we're alive, but we're not as good as the people up front. We'll destroy everyone and everything in order to get up front, even though we're all going to die. And there's a lady and a kid left, and there's a polar bear.
No, they all don't die.
Yes.
The whole train's still
Yes,
alive.
no. The only
They didn't kill everyone on the train.
Yes, they died. The only people that emerge are the lady and the kid, and they see a polar bear. The only animal in the world that specifically hunts humans. They're dead. Humanity is gone. Because these guys didn't like the way they were living, even though their lives were saved when all the rest of humanity died. It's so stupid.
I disagree with
God, it's so bad.
With your interpretation of the ending of that movie.
Understanding of exactly what it showed.
They didn't all die. They could live on the surface again. They brought down the oppressive regime.
No.
It's nature. They lived a certain way because they had to, and then there's an uprising, and then
it kills everybody.
No,
it's
not everyone did not die.
No, it was still snow. Everyone died. We'll have to rewatch that.
People don't die because of snow.
Because of that level of cold? Hell yes.
No, it was warm enough for the polar bear.
You realize polar bears live in the coldest climates.
Warm enough for a polar bear.
No.
It's warm enough for a human.
No,
to
it is
survive.
not, sir.
Because humans hunt polar bears. There's Eskimos and Inuits. If you can survive in the North Pole, you can survive. The point was, it was colder than the North Pole. It was. You would die because of the cold.
I don't want to take your money again.
What?
No, seriously.
It ends on hope.
No, it ends on death.
No.
Because that's exactly where socialism leads. And the stupid idiots who wouldn't accept the fact that at least they were alive.
It's not a movie about socialism.
Yes, it is. It is a movie about socialists fighting capitalism and destroying everything as a result.
I think it's a movie about a train.
And people not being happy with their life on the train, although they're alive.
Because they're eating cockroaches.
At least they're friggin' alive. Alright. Anyway, screw Snowpiercer. Alright.
It was a good movie.
No, it was a horrible movie. Don't see it. Okay. There's way too much in there. Alright, so turns out that the great healer is Davros. Mm-hmm. And he's created a protein that feeds a good portion of the galaxy, keeps them alive. He has a deal with this lady, Kara, and she has an assistant who's a good secretary. And it's hard to find good secretaries. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so she ends up hiring an assassin to kill Davros. And the assassin is Orsini. Mm-hmm. And he is a knight in the Grand Order of Oberon, and he's been kind of disbarred because he's an assassin, but he's looking for one valiant, honorable kill before he dies. He has a squire. What was the squire's name?
Bostic.
Bostic. The only thing notable about...
Doesn't take showers.
Yeah, the only thing notable about Bostic, two things. One, his personal hygiene is very bad. And two, his instincts are very good. He's made a great squire. So she hires Orsini to kill Davros. She gives Orsini a device to start the revolution, but the device is actually a bomb.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, it's you crinkling your can. Alright. So the doctor, eventually, the doctor and Perry make it into the gardens. The doctor sees a statue of himself.
Yeah.
Huge, tall, styrofoam statue or whatever. And he's like, oh no, that's me. In this form. I'm never going to regenerate. This is the end of me at some point.
Back to the Future 3.
Kinda.
Where Doc Brown sees his own tombstone.
Yeah.
That was the third one, right? Yeah. Where they go to the Wild West.
Yeah.
And they take the train to the moon.
What about the moon? They take the train and back into the present at that time.
To the moon. Was the third one in that franchise as well received as the first two? No, right?
Not quite, no. It was good, but it wasn't as good. The first two were superior in my opinion, but the third one was a lot of fun. It was one of the very few sci-fi westerns ever made.
Sci-fi western. You see aliens and cowboys and aliens?
Yeah. That's a sci-fi western. Westworld was the original sci-fi western, the movie with Yul Brynner.
That's
not the TV show.
Androids, right?
Yeah, that was a sci-fi western. Back to the Future Part 3. And...
Not many.
There's not that a whole lot. And there's one other, though. There is one other.
I think it's just... Okay.
There's those three.
I don't know.
And there's one other I can't think of off the top of my head. But there's like just a bare handful of them.
Like Cowboy Bebop, that's an anime. You ever see that one?
No, I don't watch anime.
It's not super western, actually.
Oh, Firefly.
Huh.
The movie Serenity was basically a sci-fi western.
Huh. I didn't pick up on the western themes.
In Serenity? And Firefly?
I didn't watch the whole show. Just like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
It was only like 10 episodes, but the movie Serenity, based off that, was very much sci-fi western.
Oh yeah,
and Firefly is very much sci-fi western.
I thought they made a Firefly movie.
Yes, it was called Serenity.
Oh, okay. It was based off of it, or it was like directly...
No, it was kind of a conclusion for it.
Oh, okay. Did they come out with that much later than the show?
Yeah.
Ah.
Right. So anyway, the doctor sees a statue of himself. Looks like granite. Turns out, of course, it's styrofoam. And he's standing
like styrofoam.
Yeah,
turns out it is actually styrofoam.
He's standing in front of the statue, and it starts to tilt and fall on him. And Perry's like, "Doctor, no!" And the statue falls on him. End of episode 1.
End of episode 1. Episode 2, we have Jobel strolling out into the courtyard. Turns out
so creepy.
The doctor's okay. Jobel says, "Oh, of course you're okay." He would take
but first he's like talking to Perry, and he's like, "Oh, my pretty, I like pretty things," and she's like, "Well, but the doctor's like, was that a friend of yours?" She's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh no, he's done for. I couldn't lift that; it'd kill my back." And oh, by the way, and he's holding her hand. Sometimes life is so strange. You lose one friend only to meet another, and it's like
super creepy.
Dude.
Yeah. Unless he's very attractive, then it would have been less creepy.
Oh yeah, that whole thing of
he has like slick parted.
It's not okay to hit on people if you're unattractive, but it's okay if you're attractive.
Yeah, but he was very unattractive
and creepy.
So yeah.
But apparently he was the head of this place on this planet, so everyone was in love with him for the power or something, you know. So anyway, The doctor gets up. He's okay. They have yet to make it at the end of the first episode, halfway through the serial, and they've yet to make it into the complex.
Right.
So they're they're in the courtyard. So they finally go into the complex.
Why was there a giant tombstone of the doctor?
It was all part of Davros's plan to lure the doctor there and then trap him to get him to come to Davros, because Davros wanted to kill him.
And the tombstone was a part of the plan?
Yes, Davros says that at one point.
Wouldn't that scare him away? Well, okay.
No, it was all part of the elaborate scheme.
That's smart.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so they go in there, and the doctor is looking to figure out who put his tombstone up, and he meets.
It worked.
He meets what's her face.
Tasabika?
Yeah, Tasabika. Tasabika has been recruited by Davros to be on his staff. Davros wants Tasabika to meet the doctor. She does. And she's giving a whole spiel about the repose place. And the doctor's like, no. I want to find out who put up the statue. And she's like, no, it's not possible. Without an exception of the Great Healer. And I was like, well, I'd like to talk to the Great Healer. And then she's like, okay. And she starts to take them to the Great Healer. And Jobel shows up. And Jobel's like, let me take Perry. And Perry's like, well, I'd like to meet the DJ. He's like, well, let me take you to meet the DJ. She's like, no, I don't want to go with him. He's like, oh, come, my pretty. And
then the doctor's like, you know what would be a great idea?
If you go with this
guy. Party.
Yeah. So she goes with Jobel. Jobel takes her away from the doctor towards the DJ. Tribaka, or whatever her name is. Tasabika. Takes the doctor through one set of doors. There's two Daleks.
Tribaka is Chewbacca's cousin.
There's two Daleks, and then he turns around, and there's the number 3 guy, and gives him a karate chop, and the doctor falls unconscious.
Gold Daleks. They're Davros's.
Davros's white Daleks.
Yeah. The Daleks are loyal to the Supreme Daleks, and they turned on Davros. So Davros escaped.
That's the Grey Daleks.
Yeah, and he made his own race of Daleks.
Again, feeding off of humans being turned into Daleks.
Right, the experiments he's doing in the
so
prison.
In episode 1, there was a scene where the young lady finds her father in the Dalek, and he begs her to kill him, and she ends up killing him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be turned into a Dalek. Because his mind be conditioned, to serve a new master. Right. So the doctor gets taken off, and he gets tied up with the rebels, the grave robbers who had been captured, and they've been tortured.
Yeah.
The drunk was made to drink until he couldn't talk, and then it's like, make him talk. Well, he can't, threatening to kill him and all that stuff.
So, in the age rating systems, one thing in movies and in video games is you have to, it increases a rating if there's consumption or depictions of consumptions of restricted beverages. So it's weird in a children's show to see someone be forced. Family show.
And this is before so much of that. I mean, this is when smoking and drinking in public was so common.
Yeah. That's a good point. But smoking was just a part of society.
It was. But anyway, so this guy... So Doctor gets locked up with him, and the Doctor's trying to escape. In the meantime, she tells Doctor about her father, and about how the Daleks are trying to create Daleks out of human remains. And the Doctor manages to help them get out of their shackles. And then Oberon shows up.
Yeah.
And Oberon's like, I smell something fishy.
Orsini.
After Orsini just slaughters this Dalek with some explosive tip bullets. Yeah. And the Daleks are like, oh, Dalek Patrol's been eliminated. And Davros is like, ooh, I suspect. So he sends for Kara. Who? Kara, the lady in the
with the makeup.
Headdress.
Kara.
Yeah, Kara. He sends for her and he's like, oh, go get yourself a new one. He's like, you should throw this one away. Finish it. Throw it away. He's like, Kara. He suspects that Kara is trying to have him assassinated because she is trying to have him assassinated. And he says, "Oh, I want to give you and provide you protection. You should come here with the Daleks who cannot be bribed." And she's like, "Oh, maybe." She doesn't want to go. So Daleks show up, kill her secretary outright. Kara goes with the Daleks because they force her to, and she's like, "It's so difficult to find a good secretary." Then, anyway, Orsini and Bostic show up. They're looking for some scapegoats. They release the prisoners, i.e. the doctor and the two, well, not rebels, but, and not really grave robbers, but the young lady and her doctor friend, medical doctor friend. He releases them. In the meantime, the doctor tries to subdue him and he gets beaten badly without much effort by this Knight of the Grand Order of Oberon. So eventually Kara is taken to Davros, and then Davros is like, "Kara, you betrayed me." Kara's like, "Oh, wait, hold on. First, Bostic and Orsini managed to find Davros. And they raid into the bunker. Most of the guards have been sent off elsewhere, searching for various peoples. The doctor, Perry. And they've been sent to kill the DJ. And capture Perry because the DJ was broadcasting Perry's announcements to the doctor and allowing Perry to speak. And the DJ is warning the president's ship from landing because part of that was to kill the president and then to have control of the grain, not the grain supply, the protein supply and all this other stuff. So they warn, so Perry talks to the doctor. Doctor tells Perry, warn the president. Perry does with the help of the DJ, Alexei Sale. And then the Daleks come, being sent by Davros. And the Daleks storm into the radio station booth, which is more or less where Alexei Sale lives. You can see his bed and stuff in there. He's working from home, as we do today. Anyway, so the Daleks come in, but she manages to warn the president because he's got a radio transmitter, so that's good. So the president does not land just in time. The Daleks come, and he's got this beam of energy powered by rock and roll, so it's some sort of, not energy beam, but psionic, with sounds. And so the Daleks come in, he shoots a couple, and then for some strange reason he goes, yeah, and he runs in front of his own weapon and gets killed by the third Dalek. Of course, the Dalek was not in the room at the time, but he comes in, pushes the other Daleks out of the way, and kills Alexei Sale. The Dalek captures Perry, takes Perry back. Come in.
Housekeeping.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, all these Daleks are gone, dealing with the stuff. In the meantime, Orsini, there you go. Orsini and Bostic have found Davros's lair. There's a single guard. Orsini throws down his staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Davros is like...
Sticks up perfectly.
Yeah. And Davros is like... Yeah, he manages to implant it into the stone or the space between the stones.
Apparently being a Knight of the Order of Oberon is this very prestigious kind of military achievement. Does he have like super strength or what's going on?
Basically, it's shown he has super strength. So Bostic and Orsini attack. They kill the guard, and they go in guns blazing against Davros, who is alone, or the head of Davros.
Blows up his head.
Right, they blow up his head, and you're like, oh, Davros is dead. Well,
yeah.
Turns out that was a decoy.
No.
Davros shows up.
End of the episode. Oh, wait.
No. Davros shows up, not only his head, but him in his wheelchair dodgem thingy.
He has his body bag.
Yeah, well, he always had it. The head was just despite how good it was just a decoy.
He's not going to have his hand back for very long, though.
Alright, so yeah, he moves in, and he keeps shooting at them, and he thinks he kills Bostic. He doesn't. But he blows off Orsini's leg.
Fake leg.
The fake leg, because he had a mechanical leg.
Prosthetic.
Mechanical.
Yeah.
And blows off his leg, and so Orsini's sitting there, and Davros has got the whole Emperor thing going from Star Wars, and he's got lightning bolts shooting out of his fingers. Orsini, Eventually, Orsini, Davros lets Orsini up off camera. We don't see this, and he hobbles into a chair with his leg there blown off because, well, it's just mechanical at least. And then they bring Kara in, and Kara's like, he's like, oh yeah, you said the assassin against me. Kara's like, no, I didn't. He says, oh really? Well, we found this device.
Pretty box. What does it do?
Give the device to Orsini.
You know well what it does.
Because she told Orsini that it was going to be a device to start the revolution, to take over things, but it was really a bomb that would blow Davros and all the Daleks up, and Orsini himself. And so Orsini's pushing the buttons, and he gets to almost pushing the last one. She's like, no, it's a bomb. And she looks at Orsini and goes, okay, so now we're both going to die. Are you happy? We're both going to die. He says, you before me. And he stabs her with a small knife. There's a little projectile knife, like
Assassin's Creed.
Like one of those batons that you do this and it comes out. Yeah.
He says, you first.
You before me.
Back, to his promise to her that if you should ever betray me, I'll come after you.
The way I'm going after Davros. So he kills her because she was betraying him. Though, I mean, she did it and she deserved it. He kills her. She dies, and then the Doctor is recaptured, gets brought in, and Davros is like, "Oh, Doctor," and then Perry finally gets brought in. Mm-hmm. And the Doctor and Orsini are kind of giving each other looks while Davros is explaining all of his plans. And Orsini's explaining, basically with his eyes and his looks, I need you to be over here, I need you to do this, I want you to do this.
So it's not subtle at all. Like they make eye contact and head movements and gestures towards
slightly, but it's when Davros is going around the corner.
There's the guard. Are the guards blind? They're standing right there.
Well, basically.
The guy with the gun, and he's like, he pulls out his dagger, and he's like, eh? And the Doctor's like,
He's using it as a pointer. Anyway,
and the guard just stands there watching all of this, and he's like, eh.
So Orsini manages to sneak the bomb away, so he has it. Perry comes in, and Perry's talking to the Doctor, and they're all good. And at one point, number 2 and number 3, what was his name? Takai or whatever?
Takas.
Takas and...
Do you like Takis?
Yeah. No.
You don't?
So at one point, number 2, number 3 decide to call for help.
See, you said yes, but then you remembered your new lifestyle of...
Keto.
Yeah. So then you said no.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to anymore.
Yeah, only on occasion.
But you really do.
I enjoy them. I'm not allowed to enjoy them.
Okay.
Alright. So anyway,
yes, they
no. They call in these other Daleks, the Grey Daleks, who are loyal to the Emperor Dalek as opposed to being loyal to Davros.
Yeah.
And there's a big fight between the Grey Daleks, the White Daleks, and some of the guards. Mm-hmm. And lots of people die, lots of Daleks die.
A good amount, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't know
boss
why I always like it when I see Daleks fighting other Daleks.
So, Davros is right about to... Oh, in the meantime, the young lady and her friend, the medical doctor, had been sent by the doctor to go to the experimentation room and kill them. Kill the experiments. And he manages to do that, but Davros manages to teleport in a Dalek, and the Dalek kills them. So, more death.
Just want to round up those loose end characters.
Oof, yeah, lots of them all dead.
So pan away, these guys die.
Pan away, these guys die. These guys die. These guys die. It's almost, it's not quite, but it's close to an everybody dies except the Doctor and Perry. There's number 2, number 3, and some randoms that survive, and of course Davros.
Yeah, the body snatchers.
Yeah.
Even the DJ guy died. Did you talk about that?
No, not yet. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he died. It was like, So, you keep going.
Okay.
I'm gonna go use the restroom and get some more ice, but you keep going.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we're at the point where Davros is about to get his hand blown off.
Oh, my favorite part. So Orsini and the Doctor were doing these not so subtle gesturings and signaling, and basically they're setting up this plan, diversion, and boom, distraction, and they try to off Davros. He ends up getting his hand shot off. They don't kill him. Him and his guards regain control of the situation. They bandage up his missing arm now, or hand, and for some reason Davros's blood is green, even though. So, if we harken back to the origins of Davros, he was a human, or he's not a human, but he's this somewhat human race, very human race that was warring against that other race. You remember? I don't remember the other race's name. They're not humans. I guess that explains the green blood. Anyway, he used to look human, but him, much like his children, the Daleks, self-experimentations kind of warped his appearance. Anyway, he has green blood. His hand gets shot off. They bandage it up. They've recontrolled the situation. So what is Orsini and the Doctor going to do to escape this situation? I don't know if I can remember. Let me check my notes. I do have this note here. How did they not see Orsini's signals? Because they're very right in front of the yard. I know it's a children's show, old TV screens, stage direction, yada yada. It's still frustrating to sit through on like a 4K TV screen. I don't know. It seems like bad stage direction, in my opinion. Like, you can be not subtle. It's a family show, but it's not for idiots. Like, you can treat children like they're smart and like not spell out everything. Although sometimes I'm pretty slow, I need things spelled out for me. I'll miss a lot. I like to make the excuse because my head's down and I'm taking notes. Honestly, it's because I don't pay great attention. I don't have a great attention span. So, where were we? So, this is when the body snatchers break in, or third in command, Stingrass, with the actual Grey Daleks. And they give the great line, which they say, Davros, you're under arrest for crimes against Daleks. And we what happens after the Daleks storm the room with Davros?
Okay, so
He had his hand blown off.
He got his hand blown off. They kill all of his guards. Mm-hmm. They take Davros away for the crimes. And Davros is like, don't take me. Take him with his stub. Take him. He's an enemy of the... he's the doctor, the enemy of the Daleks. And they're like, he does not conform to the physicality of the doctor. He's like, he's regenerating, you fools.
Do you know what that's for?
What?
It's like a string.
Let me see.
Is that for you to hang your shoes up? I think it's just in the right one. I don't think I have one on the left.
No clue what it's for. Right. So he's like, and the doctor's like, Doctor Who? I don't know, yeah. And so Davros,
Doctor Who?
Yeah. So Davros gets taken away. And before that, Davros is like, such a waste of energy blowing off my hand. And there's like, there's no arm in trying. And then as Davros is leaving, the doctor goes to shake him off his hand and shakes his little quick draws.
Davros looks like he's going for it. So remembers he's missing his hand.
Yeah, so anyway, the doctor then's like, okay.
We talked about how this doctor is very dark. He uses a gun.
Yes.
He seems to relish in adding insult to injury.
Well, the guys he knocked into the acid pool in vengeance on Varos.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just not so at all. So they leave one Dalek while the others are taking Davros and escorting him to the ship. They leave one Dalek to guard the prisoners, which is the two main guys, number 2, number 3, Tarkus or whatever.
Yeah, Takis.
And whatever the other guy's name is. Anyway, the doctor and Perry in that room and Oberon. And the doctor's like, okay. Orsini. Knight of the Oberon.
What is the Oberon? Do we see that again?
Alright, so the doctor, so the doctor's like, okay, do we have a grenade? We can use a grenade. And Orsini's like, I'll check Bostic's pockets. Because Bostic had all this stuff. So there's a grenade. So, number 2, Takis, goes and talks to the Dalek. The Dalek comes in. The doctor fires at him with his gun.
Explosive.
Blows up his eyepiece, which is where you got to hit him. And the doctor's like, oh, cannot see, error, help. And then they go stick the grenade on him, and he blows up. Yeah. So, good.
He gives Perry the dangerous job of walking right up to the Dalek to stick it with the grenade. Which I feel like is an argument you couldn't make against any other doctor. You'd be like, oh no, the doctor cares about his companions. But with Colin Baker, you'd be like, yeah, he might be prioritizing his own well-being over the companions.
That's a bit of it. Anyway, so the doctor's like, okay, we need to destroy Davros' Daleks before they can arm themselves, because they already have been activated. And Orsini's like, I've got a bomb. Yeah. I would very much like to blow it up. The doctor's like, okay. And he says, but there's no fuse, so I have to do it myself, and I'm going to take myself out. And the doctor's like, I can rig one. He's like, no. I want to die a valiant death. I want to avenge Bostic. And
go now, because I want to catch Davros too.
Yeah, I want to catch Davros too. So the two guys and Perry run. The doctor's like, you sure? And he's like, no more words, doctor. The doctor runs. And then after about 25 seconds, 30 seconds, Orsini pushes the button, blows everything up. However, Davros got away last time with an escape pod. Yeah. We found out when we thought he was blown up on the right off the prison planet. This time, the Daleks managed to get away with Davros. They're going to Skaro to try him or whatever. The doctor, all the good guys managed to get away.
Do we see Davros again? In the new stuff?
In the new stuff, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if we see him again in the old stuff. Huh? We see the Daleks again in the old stuff. I don't think we see Davros in the old stuff. I'm not 100% sure. But we definitely see both in the new stuff.
He looks different.
Davros?
Better? The same outfit.
Davros,
I imagine it looks more realistic.
Through the vast majority of the new stuff looks the same.
Does the new stuff look good, or is it like CW levels of CGI?
No, the new stuff has better production value.
Okay.
The first series, not quite, but then after that, absolutely, starting with Tenet. Eccleston, yeah, starting with Tenet. The production value does go way up. But now they've made...
He's the first new Doctor?
He's the 9th Doctor, yeah. The first of the 21st century Doctors. Because there's 7 in the original run through McCoy. Mm-hmm. Then you have the TV movie with McGann in the 90s. And then in the 21st century, you start with Eccleston going through currently Shutaigawa.
He's not popular at all. Like, when you think of 21st century Doctor Who...
Well, you generally think Tennant or Matt Smith.
And this guy. But no one ever talks about him. I've never seen him before.
Beard does, yeah. Beard loves Eccleston, yeah. But most people will go with Tennant or
no idea who he is.
Or Matt Smith. We'll get there.
We don't have the... Was it 13th?
12 is not on that 12. Picture, and 13...
Who played 12? I don't even know what they look like.
Peter Capaldi.
I don't know what he looks like.
Alright. 13, Jodie Whittaker is not on there. 14, Tennant is on there.
So Tennant is 14, not 15?
He's 10 and 14.
10 and 14. And then Shutaigawa is 15. Okay. We need to get you a couple of stickers.
Actually, yeah, we do.
I'll print them out for you.
I don't know if I want Whittaker on there, but...
Well, how about we put them up as we get to them?
Oh, that would actually be very good. Yeah, but we'll have to have Tennant on there twice.
Yeah. Put a second Tennant up there.
Like the one president, was Cleveland or Garfield, whoever was elected and then elected after a term?
A Siamese twin. Or Trump.
Well, he's older. He looks older. Alright, so anyway, the Doctor tells... the main guys, hey, look, your place is screwed. The bodies aren't there. You're never going to recover from this. But the galaxy needs protein, and this weed, the purple flowers they mess with, can be turned into protein. So you should do that, which is great because the number 2 guy after Jo-Bell. Did you talk about how she killed Jo-Bell? She just murdered him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
that was the test and then she's
killed by the Daleks.
And she didn't want him to die because she still loved him, and then he treated her cruelly, and then she decided, okay, I do want it.
She murders him, and then she's just murdered by the Daleks for no reason.
Yeah, they just kill her. Like so at first she was betraying what Davros told her to do, which was to kill him, but then. She does kill him, and then they kill her anyway. It's like, did he see her warn Jo-Bell and tell him to kill? And then
he knew he could trust her, so they murder her. So the Doctor and Perry leave, and apparently this place is going to be turned into a protein farm for that area of the galaxy by using the plant rather than human beings.
They were Soylent Greening the people as the protein that they're ending starvation with.
Yes.
Because the Daleks wanted more bodies. But wasn't that what they were using the bodies for? Was
the high-end mines were being turned into Daleks.
And then
the lower-end mines were being turned into food. That's actually explicitly stated.
I missed that part.
Yeah, you were taking notes.
I missed a lot. Yeah.
So the Doctor and Perry leave, and Perry's like, I want to go on a holiday. And the Doctor's like, well, I know this great tranquil place. She's like, no, I want to go somewhere fun. He's like, fun? She's like, yeah, fun. Well, I can take you to B. And he starts with the letter B, and it ends.
And it takes us 18 months to find out where he probably fails to take her to.
Yeah. Literally, this was almost the end of the classic seasons of Doctor Who.
The telethon saved
Right,
it.
no, yeah.
The song was not well received.
Yeah, it turns out not to be the end. A bunch of people wrote in, called in, complained there was a song, The Doctor in Distress, which I showed you.
If they were trying to kill off the TV show, why would they leave it on a cliffhanger like that?
Lots of shows end on cliffhangers when they're canceled. Think of Soap.
Well, I mean, not by choice.
Right.
They were choosing to try. So the writers didn't want it canceled.
Don't know.
They left it.
Don't know. But he said, I'm going to take it and it ends.
I mean, it's not a big cliffhanger.
Right, it's not a big cliffhanger. But this is where the show could have ended, but didn't. We get 4 more seasons because so many people wrote in, called in, protested. They wanted Doctor Who to keep going, despite the one guy who was trying to kill it so hard back in the day, which he finally managed to do it 4 years later after 4 more seasons.
Right.
So this was March of 1985, and we don't see the Doctor again until late 1986. Like I said, 18-month hiatus. And in the meantime, we have the Doctor in Distress video that I showed you, where you have the Doctor, the Brigadier, Perry, and a whole bunch of musicians come together sing the song. Yeah, sending out an SOS. Yeah. Anyway,
like the Police.
Yeah, it's horribly fun schmaltz if you want to watch it. Not well received by critics or by fans, but everyone in their pet duck was doing songs for causes in the mid-'80s, so they did one. But it's fun seeing the Brigadier sing and the Master sing.
Yeah, he is in it.
Yeah, and the guy who does like K9's voice and stuff like that.
Doctor and the Perry.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, what questions did you have for this serial?
So the Doctor in the courtyard to the compound sees his face on this giant tombstone. He says, "Never again will I regenerate," and he's surprised by that. I thought I had a few more generations. That suggests there's something that can happen to Time Lords to prematurely end their generations.
There are certain ways that if Time Lords die, they do not have an opportunity to regenerate.
Why did he make that assumption upon seeing his face?
Because he thought that was his final resting place. And it was his face, not the later regeneration's face.
But what led him to believe that was his final resting place? That he died permanently on Necros and didn't regenerate and go on?
Because supposedly it was a stupidly expensive piece, and no one would do that. It turned out to be fake, but no one would do that expense unless it was real. And that's why he thought it. Now, also, a Time Lord can choose, as they're dying, not to regenerate.
But he wouldn't do that.
No, he wouldn't do that. But we have seen the Master do that. Not previously, but in the future.
Choose not to regenerate?
Yeah.
And then he comes back anyway.
Yes, because his DNA and his essence was captured in a ring.
A Horcrux.
Essentially, it's kind of along those lines. Yeah.
What do you call those things liches are in?
Yeah. Let's go with the Horcrux.
No. That's gonna drive me crazy.
Alright. What other questions you have?
Well, let's see. We talked about the nut rolls, vegetarian diet. Joe Bull hates Tackybees. His creepy women. Perry's otherworldly botany collection is a college project that she never turns in. We talked about Alexi Sales. Weird DJ.
The most disjointed part of this story is his DJ. And it's fun, but it's so disjointed and unnerving.
We talked about the body snatchers, the Daleks, conditioning and turning regular humans into Daleks, or Necrosians into Daleks, which is, the Doctor said, So now the Daleks can reproduce anywhere, but couldn't they already do that? Like we.
Well, no, because they had to make Dalek embryos.
The vats and the test tubes.
Right, but they couldn't necessarily do that anywhere because they always previously. Well,
we saw
most of the time they needed humanoid
Daleks in the spaceship reproduce like an army of Daleks.
Right. Well, yeah, but it
was because they had their spaceship. But
they probably had some technology there to do it. Yeah, but they needed.
So you're saying we're experiencing the non-linearity of the Daleks as villains? Like that was a later Daleks?
No. What I'm saying is that without the advanced technology that they had at that time inside the spaceship with the Second Doctor, with the assembly line and all that. They needed basic human hand capable manipulation of things to make more Daleks. Like they had originally in Genesis of the Daleks.
Right.
And they don't have that in most places. But Davros is enabling them to use humans to do that.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the BBC's thing for heads with Davros's disembodied head and handles and
but it wasn't Davros's disembodied head. It turned out to just be a decoy. But okay. So later on,
there are more heads
in Doctor Who. Yes, there are heads and headless.
Headless.
So later on, we have the headless monks.
Okay.
With no heads.
Interesting.
You're right. And we have the head of, I can't remember the name of the guy.
A president, right? Nixon?
No.
Walt Disney.
No, a blue guy from another planet whose head is in a box. And his head still talks and does things. And
so there are even more heads floating around.
There's the head of Halifax.
Oh my goodness, more.
Yes. Okay, so in the
it's a sci-fi.
In the Husbands of River Song, there's Halifax, the conqueror of worlds, and his head gets stuffed into a duffel bag. And okay, it's one of my favorite episodes of 21st Century Who, and probably my favorite Capaldi episode. Period. Is the Husbands of River Song. I really love it.
Sounds bizarre though.
It is.
Is it like Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman?
No.
More like, gosh, what's that one superhero movie with the spleen? And the shoveler?
The Specials.
Maharaja. The Specials?
Yeah.
Is that really the name of it?
No, the Mystery Men.
The Mystery Men. Mystery Men, yeah. Like
Specials is a different movie.
Skull head.
yeah, and the Red Aja or the Blue Aja or whatever.
Maharaja.
No, I think it's like the Blue Aja or something. Yeah. That was a fun movie. It had Pee Wee Herman in it.
Yeah,
as a spleen.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Pee Wee Herman that played the spleen.
Yes, that was Pee Wee Herman.
Did you hear about his recent controversy? By recent, I mean like this decade? Possibly the last decade?
Didn't he die or something?
No, he is jerking it.
Well, that was like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
That was a couple
not so
decades
recent.
ago, yeah.
That's how up to date I am on current things.
What other questions do you have?
Did we talk about the broken watch and how that was a watch that started with Hartnell, right? And the doctor would sometimes have the watch, sometimes not.
I don't know if that's the same watch, but yeah, apparently the watch was very special to the doctor, and Perry crushed it when he was helping him over the wall.
And no more doctors have that watch anymore? There are no more doctors in watches? Pocket watches?
I don't remember, sir.
That would suggest.
If anyone, McCoy or McGann would have that watch.
Oh, yeah.
Would have a pocket watch.
I guess we'll see.
McGann has a pocket watch in the friggin' picture. Yeah.
Okay, so
McGann has a watch. It's okay.
All right, probably just Colin Baker being petty in that case.
Yeah, well, his characters is problematic at best.
That about rounds it up.
Okay, so Doctor Who goes on hiatus for 18 months, and then we come back.
And so do we.
And no, we're not going on hiatus for 18 months.
Oh, I misunderstood.
All right, so not Drunk Doctor Who, just Doctor Who. So, sorry, this has been a very disjointed episode, much like the serial. So anyway,
I've been trying my best.
Yeah, she's been doing
to keep things together.
No, you're doing your best
to keep us on topic.
No, to make it disjointed. Right. So Colin Baker gains a little bit of weight. Between now and the next serial.
Yeah, he looks healthy.
Yeah.
His hair looks like more crisply bleach blonde. I don't know what he does too.
Right. So a couple of notes.
Or in the song it did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it does in the.
I promised we would finish up the Fifth Doctor. We didn't do the best of him.
Yeah.
3 seasons, so we have 3 episodes from which to choose. You have the notes. What are the 3 episodes? Now I promised this in our Heroes and Villains we did a few weeks ago, and I was like, we need to save this for the main show. And we did recap the Doctor Who news that also happened, which was in our Heroes and Villains.
Yeah. Any new news?
No, we're waiting on the new series to start, series 14 or 1 or whatever the hell they're calling it.
That's with Tennant? Or that's with Shutai?
Shutagawa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we've already had Tennant?
Right. 14 is done. He had the 3 specials, and he may or may not be done. Ugh. He had a bi-generation.
Huh.
So when he regenerates into 15, Shutagawa.
Oh, it's like an avatar, like an interim. He was only that for a while.
No. Okay, so when 14 regenerates into 15, it's a bi-generation, which sounds already like a bisexual generation.
Because normally they only have so many regenerations, right? It's like a leap year baby.
Okay. So what happened in this case, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, except on reviews, because they still haven't been released here in the States.
Uh-huh.
But David Tennant and Shutagawa kind of split off like cells. You know, a cell splits into 2.
The Doctor's now 2 Doctors.
There's
the
same 14
time.
And 15. Yeah. And 14 goes off to live with...
Is that how Time Lords reproduce?
No. Not at all. We've never seen anything like this until now. And it's an abomination.
You don't like it?
I still need to see it, but I do not like what it represents because it changes so much.
Weird.
Yeah, from the past.
If it has a good explanation, but
I don't know. But I need to see it, but I do not like the implications whatsoever. And it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Alright, so we're voting on the best of the 5th Doctor. Mm-hmm. He had how many seasons?
3.
So he had season 19, 20, and 21?
Correct.
So season 19, best all around, was Earth Shock.
Yep.
Then we had the next season 20, was Modern Undead.
Yes, which I think was that
was a good one.
Yeah, it was, and it was a bit of a surprise compared to what most people consider that season to be the best. Well, no, not as much as the next one.
Like
Napster. We liked it more than a lot of people did.
Oh, you think so? It wasn't well received?
Yeah. Well, no, but I don't think it was considered the best of the season. And the third one, everyone their pet duck was the caves of Andronazi.
Yeah.
But we went with the five doctors. Yeah.
Which is weird because we normally don't go with the specials.
Right.
Because it's not the best of that doctor's season. It's like the best of multiple doctors.
Right, but we
went with that one over the Caves of Andronazi.
Even though it's commonly perceived to be the Fifth Doctor's best serial ever, we bucked the trend on that, and we went with the Five Doctors.
We did. Because the Five Doctors was that good.
It was.
So, we had these 3 seasons of the Fifth Doctor.
Yep. Alright. Wow. Okay, so...
Trendbucker. Earthshock was a good one. We got Modern Undead.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about any of these 3 serials?
Alright. Love it.
Oh God. Why is it that you
The
love
first thought that came to
Earthshock?
mind was impactful. But... it's such a bad pun. Emotionally impactful, but impactful as well. Modern Undead was just really good. Mm-hmm. And the Five Doctors, well, had the 5 friggin' doctors and was really good.
I gotta tell you, Hatter, after we teased the best of the Fifth Doctor for months now.
Well,
because we kept forgetting to
do it.
You think I'd be more prepared. I'm not at all prepared for this vote.
What do you like the least of?
That's what I was about to suggest, is what is our least favorite? Which is a good segue into my next point, which is really a callback to the part where I'm not at all prepared. And I don't at all know which one is my least favorite out of these 3. I feel like this is probably one of the closest. I felt like going into it, many of our other votes, I kind of already knew off the bat which one was my favorite.
Which would probably win.
Yeah, this one, I feel like these 3 are pretty close. At least closer than what it's been in the past. That being said, do you have a least favorite or maybe an outlier?
These are all really good. But if I had to drop one immediately, it would be Modern Undead. It's good, but it doesn't have the... God, I keep using that word, impact, of Earthshock. And it does not have everybody their pet duck like in the Five Doctors.
See, I was considering that as third favorite, and then I couldn't make up my mind between my second or first favorite between these 2. Because these are so different from each other, where these kind of lie in the same
Is this your
formula.
Least favorite amongst these great serials as well?
Yes. Yeah, I'd go ahead and cross that one off, but it leaves us with Earthshock and the Five Doctors. So we have this outlier, and then
Earthshock, yeah.
Sort of the call to formula for Doctor Who. This is... Do you have, like... I don't even know. I'm still underprepared. Should we consult the notes for Earthshock and the Five Doctors? Okay. I feel like the Five Doctors was just this, in-game Avengers level event where it brings together all the best of the old series of Doctor Who,
and the new and everything. If I'm gonna lean into the Five Doctors.
I would agree with that. I would say the Five Doctors.
We were so going against the grain in terms of. Well, no, in terms of the whole of the Fifth Doctor. I mean, everything leads to Caves of Andronazi, but we've gone with the Five Doctors over that, and then now over everything else.
This might be.
And I'm cool with that.
This might be totally incorrect, but I feel like we've done a decently good job of going counter biases with our voting in terms of not just going with the most popular ones.
Well, I think we go with what we like.
Yeah, that being said, we always vote for the Daleks and the Doctor specials. and I'm down for it. I love
this
the Five Doctors.
Doctor special.
I would say, yeah, beat out Earthshock in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like this one.
The problem is that in the next one we will probably vote for the two doctors.
Yeah, because this Doctor serial or Dalek serial was just so
Weird.
wonky and bizarre and hot and cold. So there you have it. The best of the fifth Doctor was the 5 Doctors. Get it?
For us.
5 Doctors. 5 Doctor. But that's why it's so cool. It's just it's all encompassing.
Okay, so
The 5
hopefully
Doctors with
next week on Monday we will watch.
I gotta write this down.
Next week on Monday we will watch the Trial of a Time Lord.
Trial of a Time Lord, Mysterious Planet.
The Mysterious Planet.
That's all the same title.
Trial of a Time Lord: The Mysterious Planet.
That's a long title.
So the Trial of a Time Lord is the name of the season, like the Key of Time. In the UK, it was left as a 14-part
14-part. That's a lot of
season,
parts.
right? In the US, it was split up into 4 separate serials. 4, 4, 4, 2. So it's the Trial of Time Lord, the Mysterious Planet. And that's what we'll tackle next week, hopefully on Monday. And it will be the 144th serial of Doctor Who. And we should do the best of this season of Colin Baker.
Season 22.
Season 22 of Colin Baker, right? See his first season.
Yeah.
Well, and we will include the Twin Dilemma, which will lose horribly.
That would be the best of Baker. After
Colin Baker.
After we finish off his season 22.
Well, we just did finish off season 22. Next one is season 23.
Tom Baker.
No, Colin
Best
Baker.
of Colin Baker.
Colin Baker.
Best of Tom
the
Baker
sixth
is
Doctor.
the 5 Doctors.
No.
Colin Baker is the 6th Doctor.
Yes.
Not Tom Baker.
Tom Baker's the 4th Doctor.
4th Doctor.
You are not that drunk. You are pulling my leg, sir.
They're both named Baker ahead of
Tom and Colin. Okay.
They're both named Baker, and 4 and 5 are close together.
4 and 6. All right.
Wait.
So, Tom is the 4th Doctor. Colin is the 6th Doctor.
Okay.
And we will see them both later on. Okay.
Yes.
And they're both still alive.
All right.
Okay. So, just as a note,
It's past my bedtime.
it is. All right. We are here. The Trial of a Time Lord, the Mysterious Planet. All right.
Yes.
The main group.
We are there.
The main group is there on the very next serial.
There
We are
were-
a single serial
We've
behind the
caught
main
up
group.
again. Is that the closest
No, no.
we've ever been?
Yeah, one serial, yes.
We're
So
right on their tails.
on Sunday, the main group should finish the second part of the Trial of a Time Lord.
Yeah.
You and I will finish the first. Then the week
We'll be on.
Then the week after, hopefully we'll catch up to them. And soon you'll be able to come to Bad Movie Night. Because if you catch them with Doctor Who, it's irrelevant. Because we'll be ahead of the main group.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. So you can start coming to Bad Movie Night. Bring Levi with you. It's all good fun.
Does he come to Bad Movie Night?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not as much lately. But
I feel like that's me. I'll be a sometimes.
But it's fine. Because if you come and you show up early,
I can-
we'll be ahead of the main
No
group.
spoilers.
Finally.
No
I thought we were
spoilers.
going to do it in the 7th Doctor, but apparently we're going to do it in the 6th Doctor thanks
Faster.
to a bunch of NFL playoff games and the Super Bowl and
Wait, why is that?
well, this week Lisa and I were at the convention in Houston and there was a Super Bowl. We went and watched Doctor Who anyway. But you and I are still doing this.
Oh, on Mondays.
Right.
Oh, we're
catching
faster.
up because the main group is not progressing because of football and other things.
You ever think about having like a main group podcast?
Yeah, we originally were going to do that at some point, but then Beard started having children.
Can we have an ego prize for me if we pass them, do we call this the main group now? Do I get to be the main group?
That'll still be the main group because it'll be going on for twice as long. But we'll be ahead of the main group. It'll be awesome.
Alright.
And at some point, they might theoretically pass us up, and we have to pass them
In
again
that case,
because of heroes and villains.
We'll be called the best group.
Alright.
The best.
Here's cheers. We're catching up.
Here's to that.
Thanks to you.
Thanks for joining us once again.
Once
We'll
again,
see you.
we're drinking, having fun, and wasting time. And we'll see you next week for the 144th episode.
Colin. The doctor. Colin
Baker.
Mysterious planets. Cat.